In 1960, Brewer boys basketball was the sport to watch, and momentum going into the 1960 season had been brewing for several years. Brewer had made it twice to the Eastern Maine tournament, but had never won a title. The players on the 1960 team were hungry, determined to bring home the Eastern Maine championship that had eluded them for 2 years, not only for them and for their school, but also for the city of Brewer. Teamwork was the essential ingredient to Brewer's success. The 1960 team was led by their 6'4" center, Danny Coombs, well known at the time as the best basketball player in Maine. He averaged 30 points per game during the regular season. Coombs was supported by 6'2" forwards Dennis Venetestein and Palmer Little, both superior rebounders. Rounding out the starters were Dave Farley, a 5'11" guard who was an outstanding defensive player, often holding key opponents to just a few points due to his speed, and Alan Leathers, another 5'11" guard who was a great playmaker and the second highest scorer on the team. Senior Jim Garrity added valuable experience at the guard position, and Harry Bowden was a tough rebounder. Dave Harnum, Fred Knowles, and Dennis Day added further depth to the 10-man squad. The team was managed by Ron Given and Ron Rogerson and coached by Larry Mahaney and his assistant, Bill Booker.
I had great teammates, no-nonsense head coach in Larry Mahaney. He was disciplined, smart, and organized. I was very motivated under his leadership. I believe to this day that Coach Mahaney was the difference. He believed in the way in all of us, and he made me a believer out of myself. Had a lot of coaches in my baseball and basketball career, but Larry McHaney was the best coach I ever had.
The Brewer team played to capacity crowds everywhere they played. If you wanted to attend a home game, you'd have to get to the gymnasium before the JV games began to get a seat. Opposing teams put up a great fight, but Brewer's teamwork proved too much of an overwhelming margin. With their regular season record of 15 wins and 2 losses, the Brewer team entered the Eastern Maine Large School Basketball Tournament as the number 1 seed. Thousands came to watch the Witches play in the tournament at the Bangor Auditorium. Brewer defeated Coney in the quarterfinals, 82-56, and Waterville in the semis, 69-50. Brewer played Presque Isle in the championship final. With Presque Isle still in the ballgame early in the second period, Mahaney took a gamble and left Coombs, with 4 personal fouls, on the court. As Mahaney later told reporters, Coombs can't score from the bench. The gamble paid off as Coombs proceeded to turn in one of the greatest performances in tournament history, scoring 39 total points, tying the individual scoring mark for one tournament game and shattering the 3-game tournament scoring record, which still stands to this day. And like every game up to that point, the tournament game was a team effort. Brewer's Dennis Venetestein, Palmer Little, and Alan Leathers' height gave the Witches some solid rebounding strength and scoring potential. When the final buzzer rang, Brewer was victorious, 85-59. Throughout their season, the Presque Isle Wildcats averaged 75 points per game, but the tremendous defensive play of the Witches held Presque Isle to just 59 points. The 1960 boys basketball team was the first in school history to win an Eastern Maine championship title. Their Eastern Maine win propelled them to the Maine Class L State Basketball Championship, where they would take on undefeated Lewiston. Going into the game, Brewer had the edge in scoring percentage and free throws. Lewiston had a height advantage, with 3 of their 5 starters at 6'4". The Brewer team went down to Portland the day before the state game to practice at the Expo. Unlike Brewer's tiled floor, which had no bounce and was hard on the legs, the Expo had a wooden floor. The Brewer players were elated at how much higher they could jump and even touch the rim. This was the biggest sporting event for the city of Brewer to date. A round-trip passenger train from Bangor to Portland was packed with excited Witches fans from Brewer and surrounding communities. The Witches fans gave Western Union good business with telegrams wishing Brewer the best. A 10-foot long telegram message was signed by 500 Brewer fans, while over 100 individual telegrams were delivered to the Brewer team's Portland headquarters. Even the Brewer cheerleaders got into the spirit, wearing fancy new uniforms for the state championship game. But it was their novel act during halftime, complete with smoky cauldron while dressed in witches' garb, that stole the show. Although a state go ball in 1960 was not meant to be, the Brewer fans could not have been prouder of its basketball squad of 10 players for their historic accomplishment, which included a new state game scoring record set by Danny Coombs. With a state runner-up trophy in hand, the Witches returned to the city of Brewer as hometown heroes. Following the state game, local businesses throughout the city raised money to send the Brewer team to the Boston Garden to watch the New England Championship game between Lewiston and New Haven, Connecticut. The true highlight for the Brewer team, however, was seeing a Celtics game the night before, where they watched basketball greats Bill Russell and Bob Cousy of the Celtics play against Wilt Chamberlain and his fellow Philadelphia teammates. With its Eastern Maine Championship and state runner-up titles, the 1960 boys basketball team left a legacy for future generations by what it accomplished that season. It was the team that all future Brewer basketball teams were compared to for decades.
In March of 2023, the 1960 basketball team sent our team an email wishing us good luck at the state championship and giving us great advice on enjoying the experience of competing for a state title.
They let us know that they were rooting for us to bring the gold ball back to Brewer, the first ever in school history. That email really meant a lot to us, so we wanted to be the first to congratulate you today.
On behalf of all the members of the 2023 Brewer State Championship basketball team, it brings us great pleasure to present the 1960 basketball team for induction into the Brewer Athletic Hall of Fame.
Congratulations!